Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Dave Anderson here, Helicool's Helipad. And today we're going to be traveling along the Jordanian border. We're going to visit just a little area called the Valley of the Shadow of Death. Yes, there's actually a valley called that. We're also going to have a triumphant entrance into the city of Jerusalem, visit the Garden of Gethsemane, and go to the Church of All Nations. Beautiful places, fun times. Stay tuned. It's going to be a good adventure today. We are traveling right along the Jordanian border. This is the West Bank area. As you can see that there's a treaty line of 1994 when they had the war and basically took over this area, took it back, and reclaimed it for Israel. As you can see, the land has gotten quite a bit rougher, and this is what they consider to be the wilderness. But this land, it's very, very rocky in this area and continues to be this way right up until the entrance of Jerusalem. We traveled the road all the way to Jericho. Now, we had to take a highway that went on the outskirts of Jericho because it is Muslim held, and no Christian or Jew is really allowed into Jericho.
So this is Jericho off in the distance. It's at a level of minus 842 feet below sea level. You can see the trail. This is like the trail of the Good Samaritan was on. The person was injured. As you can see, that robbers could be around any bend. Any bend. And very easily could rob you, so they traveled in big family groups. This is also called the Judean Wilderness, and they call this area the Valley of the Shadow of Death because there were so many robbers around every corner, around every shadow. So many people died out here because it was so hot and just nothing but wilderness and packs of thieves.
How should we sing the Lord's song in a foreign land? If I forget you, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget its skill. If I do not remember you, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth.
And here is a taxi cab here in Jerusalem. It's quite a calm one.
It's hard to describe seeing this for the first time. My heart was pounding. I was just like in awe. It was just so awesome to see this for the first time live. In the foreground there, you see this huge Jewish cemetery. Of course, this is the Mount of Olives. You see all the olive trees, a couple of churches down below, and of course, the wall, the eastern wall of the Temple Mount and the valleys that are in the area. It was just amazing. Here is the close-up of the eastern wall with a small cemetery at its base and a panoramic shot of the area as far as I could get it. The little teardrop church of Dominus Flevit, halfway down the western slope of the Mount of Olives, recalls the gospel incident in which Jesus wept over the future fate of Jerusalem. Jesus wept over it as he prophesied its future destruction. Enemies would set up ramparts around you and surround you and hem you in on every side, crush you to the ground, and they will not leave within you one stone upon another, because you did not recognize the time of your visitation from God. Within 40 years, in AD 70, Jesus' prophecy was fulfilled. Roman legions besieged Jerusalem and, after 6 months of fighting, burnt the temple and leveled the city. This is a tomb that was recently excavated. You can see that the boxes are very, very small, and these are what's called bone boxes. The word sarcophagus actually means meat eater, and after 1 year, the bones would be removed and placed in these boxes. The cemeteries on the Mount of Olives are the most ancient and most important Jewish cemeteries in Jerusalem. Burial on the Mount of Olives started some 3,000 years ago in the days of the first temple and continues to this day. This is the place where, on the Mount of Olives, Jesus wept when he saw Jerusalem.
This church was built in the form of a teardrop, and those vases up there are for tears to be collected.
This is the narrow road where Jesus would have walked down from the Mount of Olives to the gates of Jerusalem. Nowadays, it's a somewhat dangerous road to walk with the sparse traffic and narrow roads.
And this is the Garden of Gethsemane.
What I was struck most with in this area was just how old these trees looked and how massive their trunks were. Olive trees just don't have these huge trunks, and these were just, you could just tell, were massively old. Not only that, but this is in the winter time, and this garden, even in the winter time, was very, very lush and beautiful. I can't even imagine what it would have been like in the spring or early summer in full bloom, or having tons of olives on these olive trees. It would have just been amazing.
Look at these old gnarled trees.
Gethsemane means oil press, which I think Jesus was feeling pretty pressed. And he sweat blood here.
The size of that trunk. This is called the Church of All Nations. It's a Franciscan church.
Matthew 26, verse 39. Going a little farther, he fell with his face on the ground and prayed, "My Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me. Yet not as I will, but as you will." Verse 42. He went away a second time and prayed, "My Father, if it is not possible for this cup to be taken away unless I drink it, may your will be done." And it is in this place where he was betrayed by Judas and arrested.
Well, thanks for joining me on this adventure. This one was triumphant and very heart-touching, sad at the same time, knowing what the Lord went through, the sacrifices that he made on our behalf. It's quite an amazing thing to think that God would give up everything because he loved us so much. If you don't know the Lord, for heaven's sakes, go find someone that does know the Lord, someone that you can trust, and start a relationship with Jesus Christ. There is much, much more to come We just entered Jerusalem. It's gonna be an amazing trip. Until next time, I'm Dave Anderson signing out. You guys be safe and God bless.